Hello, cruel world. Mike Osiris here, and oh boy, do I got a good one for you today. So recently, I came across a Loudwire article regarding punk rock legend Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols. Johnny Rotten was the lead singer of this band, and this band was huge in the late 70s punk scene, right? The punk scene, as you may know, thrived on anti-establishment ideas and counterculture. Keep this in mind as you hear why Johnny Rotten is being talked about once again. You see, Rotten was recently photographed by someone on Twitter, and he dared to do the unthinkable. He wore a Make America Great Again t-shirt while smoking. I know. This is the most terrible thing to happen in the year 2020. At least, that's what it would seem like if you listen to the blue checkmarks on Twitter, who are currently frothing at the fucking mouth upon hearing this news. Let's dive into the Twitter cesspool, shall we? I am absolutely gutted that Johnny Rotten was ever anyone's hero. Johnny Rotten has always sucked, and the Sex Pistols were the punk version of the Monkees, except with far less talent. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. Yes, because the big bad punk man disagrees with me politically, I'm gonna pretend that I always thought he sucked. I don't care about Rotten at all. I don't care so much, I'll leave an unwarranted comment about how he always sucked. What do you mean this is a shitty coping mechanism? What do you mean everyone sees through what I'm doing, and no one is fooled? To fully understand why these types of arguments are fucking retarded, and why no one should be surprised that Johnny Rotten was wearing a Trump shirt to begin with, you need to do two things. First, you need to cite my earlier advice of understanding the context of punk rock, and second of all, you need to consider the source. So, let's take a look back in the history of the Sex Pistols in general. Alright, so the Sex Pistols were formed in 1975, much to the chagrin of old people who thought rock and roll was the devil's music. The band was one of the main inspirations for the punk movement as a whole, and they thrived off of the controversy that they received, because any publicity is good publicity. They thrived off of pissing off the masses, and boy did they do that. For example, in 2006, the Sex Pistols were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This would usually be seen by a band as the highest honor they can achieve. But how did the Sex Pistols respond? They pretty much just threw up a giant middle finger to the Rock Hall as a whole and called the museum a piss stain. Another example showing the Sex Pistols' shitty behavior is back in their 1978 tour of the southern US, where the bassist, Sid Vicious, called the crowd of fans a bunch of faggots, and then he proceeded to club an audience member over the head with his bass guitar. The Sex Pistols' entire shtick was pissing people off, and it shows through shit like this that worked. And now, let's take a look at the current culture. It seems that the widespread opinion of Donald Trump is pretty fucking low, and the Democratic Party is held on a pretty high pedestal, both by social media users and by major corporations. So, knowing that knowledge, it would only make sense that the counterculture of today would be the opposite of what is popular and trending, right? That's the definition of counterculture. And being a strong follower of the counterculture, Rotten would have very well seen this as an opportunity to piss people off once again, and take a look at how Twitter was reacting earlier. It's safe to say that it worked. People who are longtime fans of Rotten and the Sex Pistols are now denouncing him, saying that he isn't punk because he did something disagreeable to them, which I find hilariously ironic. The Twitter masses are saying by doing this, you can't be punk if you disagree with me, because after all, nothing says punk like sucking the dick of corporate establishment and going unquestionably with the current popular opinion. Seems punk has taken quite the 180 since its heyday, huh? Or maybe it seems that all these punk babies are turning into their parents who denounced what they disagreed with way back when punk was popular. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Isn't that right, you fucking hypocrites? Also, one last thing. If you're pissed off about Johnny Rotten, you'll absolutely shit yourself when you find out about the shit Sid Vicious did before he became worm food. What is up, guys? You made it to the end of another video. This one isn't part of the Mike's Musical Mysteries series, but I will make another episode to that soon. So if you enjoyed today's content and you'd like to see more, please make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. Like this video too if you liked it, and I will see you soon with some new material. Catch you later.